My name's Niall. I fractured my right fibula, and I'm making this series of videos about my recovery from non-weight bearing to weight bearing and moving into full recovery. So this is my 11th week weight bearing. I was 16 weeks non-weight bearing in a boot or a cast. So I was immobilized and I lost most of the muscle in my right leg and a lot of the mobility in my right foot. I've definitely made a lot of progress, since I was able to go weight bearing. I'm almost walking without a limp. I think I'm another probably week to 2 weeks and I should be walking properly without a limp. I still don't have full range of motion in my leg, in my ankle or my Achilles tendon. I don't have that flexation forward yet. And obviously I don't have the strength in my calf. I really lost a lot of the muscle in my calf and doing a single leg calf raise. I can kind of go halfway up, so kind of those are a lot of my limitations at the moment. And so things that I'm kind of working on now to get better is I'm working on an awful lot of flexibility, not just in my leg, but in my hamstrings and my hip, and I think just getting the proper range of motion will help me get back to walking and running properly. And then I'm also really focusing on the strength. While I am doing a lot of exercises just to target my right leg, I'm just trying to do a lot of full body strength, so like really strengthening my core, my legs, both my quads, my calves, just kind of all the muscles. Probably not as much in the upper body as I should, because I do like to run. So I probably do, for every 3 or 4 I do my exercise, I might do my leg, I'll do one on my upper body. And I guess the reason for doing this is, now I've had patella tendonitis before, but I feel that if you get your body just like super strong, not strong in the sense that you're bulking up, but just strong in the sense that your muscles are toned, all your little connector muscles and your small balancing muscles, that they're all strong. It will help you obviously recover quicker, and it helps prevent injuries, and it just makes you, I guess, overall a better athlete. So I'm really focusing on them at the moment. So initially when I first started weight bearing, I was probably like 100%, really just working on my foot mobility, and then still was 100% on my right leg, strengthening it up. And now I'm probably maybe 50-50, maybe a little more full body strength. So that's kind of where I am, and I feel like I am making good progress, and that's kind of recommendation from my physical therapist. I'm not a doctor or a physical therapist, so everything that I will say in this video, don't make any changes based on what I say. Consult or talk to your physical therapist first. This is really just an account of kind of my progress. What I also have been doing a lot is I've started to ride my bike. So I cycle in and out of work, which is about 4.5 miles each way. I guess just to show how kind of much muscle I lost and just muscle strength prior to breaking my leg. I was running primarily, but before I was primarily running, I could easily go out and ride 30 or 40 miles and be a little tired, but it wouldn't take a lot out of me. 4.5 miles to work, I can feel it, still feel it in my legs, which is good. I think that'll help build up the strength and start getting the aerobic base that I need to get back in shape to run, to be competitive in local road races. So again, yes, I'm doing that, which is great. I think functional exercises like riding a bike, walking will really help build up the muscles that you need, to be active. I haven't started running yet. I want to get the kind of walking without a limp and be consistently doing that. And I couldn't actually even physically run while my leg is 100% healed. I don't have the strength or the mobility my ankle to run yet, so I'm still kind of working on that, progressing there. But once I get to that, I definitely will maybe make videos primarily on kind of running after sustaining a fracture, because there's really not a lot out there. And I know for me, myself personally, I really want to make sure that my form doesn't suffer, and then that I gradually increase it, because I don't want to get an injury. It takes a lot longer to build up your skeletal muscular system than it does your cardiovascular system. So I really need to work on kind of pulling back the reins, being patient, and slowly building that back up, because prior to breaking it, my max mileage was like 70 miles in 1 week. So I want to get back to that and actually above that. I have some pretty lofty goals for myself. Probably not lofty compared to professional runners, but I think I could break a 2:30 marathon. So I kind of want to get up to the 80 mile, maybe 85 mile per week range in maybe the next 2 years, hopefully. But anyways, so that's a bit of an aside. But yeah, so I haven't got to quite running yet. That's still to come. But right now, like I said, I'm just really focusing on getting my body super strong. Legs, core, a little bit of upper body, but that's just my personal preference, because the heavier you are, the more weight you have to carry, and endurance sports are all about power to weight ratio. But anyways, it's kind of it for this week. Things are slowly getting better. I do have pains. It seems like every time I get that little more mobility or a little more range, there's a little extra pressure points in my foot where there's kind of swelling. It's happened all through the kind of process. So right now, kind of my ankle gets sore a little bit. So I would imagine that's probably maybe a standard thing for coming back from so much, from having a couple of surgeries and not using your foot for a while. It seems like, when I was first standing on my foot, that was sore. Then when I was putting pressure on the ball of my foot, kind of that was sore for a while. Then just walking, that was just kind of sore, my foot be stiff. And now when I'm really kind of walking and properly doing heel to toe, and moving my ankle joint a lot, I'm getting a lot of pressure on my ankle. But they don't seem to be permanent. This is probably as sore as it's ever been. I'm seeing my physical therapist Thursday, so it'll be good to run it by her to see, maybe, I don't know if I'm overdoing it or not. But I guess my experience has been that there is just pain, not debilitating pain, but it's funny, my doctor asked me, or the nurse asked me, like, do I experience any pain? I'm like, yes, my foot is sore. It's sore when I use it for, if I use it for a prolonged period of time, it does get sore. I mean, the pain is not zero. My other foot, I would say, 0 all the time. This is a minimum of kind of 1 or 2. Then it can get quite sore maybe towards the end of the day if I've used it a lot. But again, I think that's to be expected. I think my doctor just said that unless there's just this kind of pressure that's there that won't go away, that means I've overdone it. So I've only really got that probably once or twice over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So yeah, so I guess I think I'm just trying to make the point, be it long-winded, that I do experience a base level of pain. It's not very, very intense. It's like I said, it's 1 or 2 on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the worst. So it's to be expected. Anyways, I kind of rambled on this. But if there's anyone out there watching this that has gone through a similar process, or is going through a similar process, or maybe just at the beginning, definitely feel free to reach out to me. For me, it was a bummer. There really wasn't much available on the web. Really, I didn't think there was a couple of videos and stuff, but the actual kind of recovery and how that goes, there wasn't much. And if you're listening to this and you broke your leg and maybe you're 6 weeks in a cast, it'll be definitely different and hopefully much faster than mine, because like I said, I was 16 weeks and 2 surgeries without putting any weight or moving my foot at all. So that really was, I guess you could say, a complication onto what the normal 6 to 8 weeks recovery time is. But anyways, I'm going to sign off now. I gotta go to bed, go to work, cycle to work tomorrow. But again, I appreciate if you got this far and watching, and I appreciate it. You may be the only one. Bye.